What if I told you that your life is not shaped by your circumstances, but by a pattern running silently inside your mind? A pattern of thoughts that become emotions, that become your identity, and eventually your reality. There is a Sanskrit mantra that's thousands of years old. Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. As you feel, so you become. Not as you wish, not as you affirm occasionally, but as you consistently feel and believe. Let's break this down, not just spiritually, but scientifically. Because this is not just philosophy, this is neuroscience. In the next few minutes, I want to show you why this mantra is in spiritual poetry. It's a literal description of how your brain rewires itself every single day, every single moment rather, whether you are paying attention or not. Let's get into it. Here is something most people don't realize about their own mind. Every thought you think isn't just a thought. It's an electrical event. Neurons fire, chemicals release, and the more often a particular pattern fires, the stronger and faster that pathway becomes. Neuroscientists call this Hebb's law, and it's usually summarized as neurons that fire together, wire together. So when you think a thought repeatedly, I am not good enough, I always mess this up, people don't like me, or I always struggle, I don't get opportunities, your brain doesn't argue. It just adapts. It builds a default pathway of limitation. You're laying down neural cable. You're building a highway in your brain. And the next time a similar situation shows up, your brain takes that same highway automatically. Faster, easier, more default. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's one of the most validated findings in modern brain science. In other words, Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. What you repeatedly feel, you literally, physically become at the level of brain architecture. But it doesn't stop at the brain. Dr. Candace Pert, a neuroscientist at the National Institutes of Health, made a discovery in the 1980s that shook the field. She found that emotions aren't just in your head. Every emotion releases peptides, tiny chemical messengers, and these peptides have receptors on cells throughout your entire body, your gut, your immune system, your heart. So when you feel anxious for 10 minutes, that's a chemical wave. When you feel anxious every day for 10 years, that's a chemical climate. Your cells are literally bathing in it. This is why chronic stress shows up as ulcers, chronic resentment shows up as inflammation, chronic fear shows up as a weakened immune response. The body is eavesdropping on every thought you think, and over time, your nervous system becomes wired for survival, not expansion. Yet bhavam tad bhavati. As you feel, so you become, not just mentally, but cellularly. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. There's a small bundle of neurons at the base of your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Now, what's its job? To filter information. Every second, your senses take in roughly 11 million bits of information, but your conscious mind can only handle about 40 to 50 bits. So your brain has to choose what gets through and what gets ignored. The RAS or the RAS decides based on what you have told. It filters. Here is a simple example. You decide to buy a red car. Suddenly, red cars are everywhere, or a particular brand, and you get to see that brand on the road all the time. They didn't multiply overnight. Your RAS just started letting them through into your brain, into your world. Now apply this to your inner world. If you wake up every morning thinking, life is hard, people are difficult, nothing works out for me, then your ass will spend the day collecting evidence that confirms your beliefs. Not because life is actually like that, but because your brain is doing what you trained it to do. And the reverse is equally true. Train your attention toward possibility, gratitude, opportunity, and your eyes start surfacing those signals from the same exact world. Same world, different filter, and different life. This is Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati in action. Your inner state literally curates your outer reality. Let's bring in one more layer, behavioral science. James Clear, in his famous book Atomic Habits, makes a powerful point. He says most people try to change their behaviors, but behaviors flow from identity, and identity is just what you repeatedly believe about yourself. If you believe I'm a smoker, you will fight cigarettes your whole life. If you believe I'm not a smoker, the fight changes. The identity changes the action. This is feeling, becoming, being. Psychologists call it the self-fulfilling prophecy. Research going back to Robert Rosenthal's famous classroom studies in the 1960s showed that when teachers were told certain students were intellectually gifted and are bloomers, even when those students were chosen randomly, those kids actually performed better by the year end. Why? Because the teacher's beliefs and expectations shaped the children's behavior, which shaped the students' outcomes as well. Belief literally became reality. Now turn that lens on yourself. What are you prophesizing about you every single day in the quiet conversation inside your head? Because whatever it is, your brain is taking notes, your body is responding, your filter is adjusting, and your behavior is aligning. Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. Thought leads to emotions, leads to identity formation, and that becomes your reality. So let's simplify this. A thought repeated becomes a belief. A belief felt deeply becomes your emotional state. And that emotional state becomes your identity. And your identity drives your behavior and finally your outcomes. So it's not magic. It's a loop. And most people are stuck in it unconsciously. This is why positive thinking alone doesn't work, because you can say I am successful a million times, but if underneath, if you feel fear, doubt or unworthiness, your brain listens to the emotion, not your words. The mantra doesn't say Yad Vachanam Tad Bhavati, what you say you become. No, it says Yad Bhavam, what you feel deeply you become. So what do we do with this? I would recommend 3 small things, not philosophical but deeply practical. 1. Audit your inner sentences. For one day, just notice the phrases that repeat in your head. Don't fight them, just notice. Awareness is the first crack in the pattern. 2. Interrupt and replace. When you catch a thought, you wouldn't want to become reality. Don't just delete it. Replace it. The brain doesn't process, don't think of a pink elephant kind of a thing. It just thinks of that pink elephant, you know that. Give it something else to fire, so replace it. 3. Feel it, don't just think it. Neuroscience shows that emotion is what cements a neural pathway. Your body's language is emotions, and your mind's language is thought. So a thought said with feeling rewires faster than a thought just said flatly. This is why mantras work. They are not magic words. They are emotional anchors. Instead of jumping to fake positivity, I would recommend that we shift gently from I'm a failure to I'm learning, I'm stuck to I'm figuring it out. Why? Because your brain accepts believable shifts, not forced ones, not borrowed stuff from other people. Here is the truth the ancient seers understood, that the labs are now confirming with us. You're not a fixed thing reacting to the world. You are a process, a becoming. Every thought, every feeling, every quiet inner sentence is a vote for who you are turning into. So choose them like they matter because they do. Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. As you feel, so you become. And maybe the real question is not what do I want in my life, but who am I becoming every single moment, every single day. Until next time, be gentle with your thoughts. They are building you. If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like the videos and subscribe to get regular updates. And do share the videos you like with others who may find them useful.